Today I'm going to make eggplant parmesan over whole wheat pasta. You're going to need eggplant, salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, olive oil, canola oil, breadcrumbs, whether if it's Italian or regular breadcrumbs, a tomato sauce, and you're going to need some eggs, milk, and then some cheese. So mozzarella and normally Parmesan, I don't have any, and whole wheat pasta. You need some garlic cloves. Chop those up or already get the pre-minced kind. Put a little bit of olive oil. I'm gonna brown up my garlic a little bit. I actually have some previous spaghetti sauce in the refrigerator that my daughter did from college. So I'm gonna add a little bit extra than the jar that I have. I'm going to take this a little bit browner, not much more. I don't really do much. I use Prego, that's my preference, and sauce. I'm not going to make no homemade, but maybe I'll get there one day. Now, you don't necessarily have to heat this up. I prefer it because I don't really add much to it. Pretty much all my flavor comes from just the breadcrumbs. So I just doctor up the spaghetti sauce just a little bit. So what I'm just gonna do is I'm gonna add garlic powder. I'm gonna have some onion powder, put some pepper, and some Himalaya salt or sea salt, whatever you like. I don't add sugar, but if you do get heartburn, you might want to add a little bit of sugar to kind of get rid of some of that acid. But I am recording this myself, so I need my hands to crack the pepper and the salt. So as you can see, I did not cut these too thick. I personally like them really thick, they're fine, but when I am feeding to my girls, I make it smaller because eggplant is something I'm introducing them to. I use 2 eggs because I use 2 eggplants, some milk in one bowl. In a separate bowl, you're gonna have the dry mix. You're first going to dip the eggplant into your wet mix and then put it into your dry mix. I only do it one time. I make sure both sides are coated, put it on a tray, and then I heat up some oil. Okay, as you can see, this gets a little bit beady, you know, from getting wet. I just add more seasoning or more breadcrumbs to it. Obviously, if you end up getting it too wet, then you wanna replace it. But this is actually getting a little too hot. I'm gonna turn on the iron a little bit, and I'll just show you real quick one of them. You see, these are really just not a lot of oil in there. I only bread mine once because for me, my breadcrumbs do not always stay on when I'm in here cooking. So, while these are browning, I will start doing another batch. Now, I could let these cook. Maybe they are a little bit too long. It's not that I don't mind the browning of it, but it has been 4 minutes. I flipped it over. Basically, you just want to coat and make sure it gets a little brown. It definitely won't take the second side as long. And because like most of my oil is gone, when I do my next batch, I will add more oil to it. Okay, so it's been 2 minutes, and that looks good enough. Sometimes if it's not enough oil on it, see, that's almost peeled off the coating. So I will actually take these and put them in the pan and add a little more oil, start the next batch, and there we go. So I do end up trying to get like a little bit of the breadcrumbs in here because it'll just get burnt and it won't be that great. So I literally just drizzled some oil on it because I could tell by my pan that I did not have enough oil in it. And when I flip it over, it's not going to have a wetness to actually really crust it the proper way. So I actually like mine like this. Once you put the sauce in, the crispier the better. Now this one I actually put too early, but I don't like doing back and forth because that's how these a lot of times peel off, and then you don't have the breading on it. And because I'm making this video for my daughter who's at college, I know you probably will not have a long pan like this. And what you're gonna do is just put it in the pan you have, and if it overlays, that's fine. If you end up really liking eggplant, you could actually make them thicker slices. But I definitely would say for beginners who's not used to eggplant, this might be a good way to do it. And I have another like a half cooking in there, and the rest of the eggplant I will just saute up when I make my teriyaki. Since I added the other half of the eggplant, they had to overlap. And then I add on my cheese. You can use Parmesan or mozzarella or a mix. I usually use a mix of both. So this I had on a very low simmer, and it's done. So I'm just gonna pour it on top of my eggplant. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I'm gonna drizzle a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, a little bit of garlic and onion powder. Just sprinkle it on top lightly and cover it and put it in the oven. My oven's been preheated a long time now. I decided to cook this early in the morning. I don't know, I woke up at like 4 in the morning and just started cooking. Okay, as you can see, I moved the sauce around because I could see a little bit of the cheese coming through, and it did not melt. So it has been baking in here for a long time. So I just increased it up to 375. I'm going to take the lid off and just let it cook for maybe, hopefully it'll be done in like 5 minutes or something, because it has been about an hour. When this was complete, I added on top of some whole wheat pasta. And what I did prior to putting it on there, I added some butter, salt, and pepper just to kind of doctor up the whole wheat. Whole wheat pasta is something I did not grow up off of, and I've tried to adjust my eating habits. So it is acquired taste, but for somebody who does not like it, this actually does taste really good. This took me about 2.5 hours. I think because I put the sauce on top of the cheese, it was taking it longer for the cheese to melt. So I would probably reverse it next time, put the sauce down, then put the cheese on top, and then maybe it'll be able to melt quicker and it won't take as long to cook. So roughly it should take, I would say, maybe 2 hours. And obviously you can always chop up everything and do a much quicker version, but I actually like the way food tastes when you take a little more time to it. It's just that little love that you put in your meal.